Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charnley. This is another Shropshire church. This is the church at Claverley in Shropshire. Now, it's been said that England's parish churches are the village's museums and art galleries, and this is one of those churches where that is emphatically true. This is a Norman building, although there was an Anglo-Saxon church on this site. And in 1902, during restoration, the most amazing thing was discovered, these wall paintings up here. And they've been described as England's Bayeux Tapestry, with their knights in combat. They are, quite frankly, amazing. And they draw people from far and wide to see, as so they should. This remains, of course, a place of worship, and it was built for that purpose. Now, we do not know fully what these paintings are supposed to depict. It's very unusual to have this sort of frieze of knights in combat. And so there have been various theories. One is it depicts a real battle. Another is it's some sort of allegory about the virtues fighting the vices. And there are others as well. The reality is we don't know what it depicts, other than knights in combat. But it is the most notable thing in this church, and there's so much to see in this church. There's a Gataker Chapel, there's a Jacobean pulpit, there's an Anglo-Saxon font. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at some of those things, shall we? And so we start as usual at the west end. Now, here at the west end of the south aisle, because here we can see the paintings. They're faded, of course. They were covered for hundreds of years by whitewash, and that whitewash actually has preserved them. They would have been striking and vibrant when first painted, but they were painted in the 13th century, and so it has been rather a while. Also here we find the font. You can see there where the hinge would have been, there's been a repair. This is Norman, this is 12th century. It's a Norman tub, and I like Norman tubs. There, you could get a reasonable sized infant in there. These are tubs, you see, they're intended to put the child in the font, not to just hold the child over the font and sprinkle them. That's the Norman font. Now this is the Saxon font, you can just see it there. It was discovered during maintenance work, as so much was. And here we have a nice bit of carving. Look at this. Look at this. A couple of ladies gossiping. The sort of thing that medieval artists like to do. And here we have a early 20th century window by the look of it. This is Christ child and little children of the world with these angels above. It's all very early 20th century. And various memorials. We've got the War Memorial here, which of course is very important, and we can see that these include Captain Gataker, Major Gataker, Gatakers being the big house family. There's one thing, and I said it before, I have to say it again, that when it comes to the First World War in particular, the Second World War as well, you're looking at a situation where we've got a military aristocracy, a military elite, and they're expected to go and fight and provide the officers. And that's why, far from the land aristocracy profiting from the war, the industrialists might, but the land aristocracy are ruined by it. They lose people, they lose money. Here we have a remembrance, I believe, of the Mayflower. Some of the pilgrims came from around here. And this is, again, that wonderful frieze. We look west, we look east rather, and we've got the east, we've got the chancel. There's a little remain of a doom painting above it, but little can be seen. And you see that above the pulpit. That would, I suspect, have been the door into the rood loft, which would have been carried up there. They were never very big doors. You'd just send a small choir boy or something up there. Angel painted here, and then as we come in here, we find the benefaction boards, 18th century, the little faces at the top, winged faces, little putty. And here we have the very important, the commandments with Moses and Aaron. You can't actually see Moses and Aaron, you can see their feet, but that's again worth seeing. And then we have the North Chapel, and you can see that is the base of a medieval screen, and whether it's part of the rood screen or part of a park close screen that was always there, don't know. 17th century pulpit on a later base, but it is 17th century sort of thing that you'd expect the Puritans to be using. Oh, and yes, that is the Christmas tree in there. They haven't taken their Christmas tree down yet. And it is the middle of February. But there we are. Makes everyone feel better that I suspect they just shifted to one side and it's waiting for next year, because this is not actually used very much. Christ the Good Shepherd and the bier, the parish bier, used for carrying the dead, you see, into this enormous chancel, and it is vast. You see, you've got this stained glass triptych there, and then big east window and mosaic floor, missing some bits, but that's how it goes sometimes. And there we have the Sedilia and Piscina, and finally there is a consecration. I say finally up here, because there's other things to see. This is the Gataker Chapel. The Gatakers, the local big house family, they are connected with Gataker in Liverpool, and we've got this gentleman here with his two wives. He is in court dress. He's a lawyer, well, a judge really, and he's in his judge outfit, and he's got his two wives, obviously one at a time. I think memorial to Major General Sir William Forbes Gataker, Knight Commander of the Bath. He served in India and South Africa. And then we've got these carvings here. This is under the tower, which is used for various things. And the east end, you can see there's some bench ends from where pews have been taken down. Here we've got Francis Gataker. There he is with his wife, the daughter of Humphrey Swireton of Swireton in County Stafford. I suspect that's Swinnerton. This is an early early 19th century glass, fairly standard. And another Gataker and his wife here with their children underneath. So this is the Gataker Chapel, very impressive, and of course it's screened off partially from the chancel. Mind the step, which is always important because they're not always as obviously should be, particularly for those of us who are short-sighted, but that's another matter entirely. And again, that wonderful frieze. Some of the best medieval art in the whole county, and that's saying something because we're talking about Shropshire here, which has some wonderful medieval art in it. And here we have the lectern, which is rather interesting. You can see wooden, with an eagle carved on the front. Niche there would have had a figure in it. And here we have this tower has been inserted, it seems. And you've got a little bit of painting around about the tower, and there you've got some Norman arch. Complicated. So that is the inside here of Claverley All Saints, and there's Georgian arms, royal arms, because legally every Anglican church has to have the royal arms displayed somewhere. So there we are inside here at All Saints Claverley with England's Bayeux Tapestry. So here we are outside of All Saints Claverley. You can see behind me this porch, two-storey porch. There's evidence inside, at least it was intended to be vaulted. Whether it ever was is another matter entirely. It's in this nice red local sandstone. Now we're in an area near Bridgenorth where the sandstone is a better building material, so medieval structures survive, shall we say, with less excessive weathering. We'll have a look around the outside and see what we can see. Claverley Church stands upon an ancient hill. You can see it just past 3 o'clock now, and here is this tower which is kind of in the middle of the south side, with the Gataker Chapel to the east, and then you've got to the north, to the west rather, you've got the porch, and there's a bit of an aisle there. There's the village. Is a very pleasant little village actually, and here we are. Loving memory of Joseph Cox of Rockmount, Kinver. Kinver is home to rock houses. It's relatively local. It's just inside Staffordshire. So this is an area where Staffordshire and Shropshire abut. And there's lovely bit of carving on this. This is 15th century window up there. And in the porch, let's go inside because we can see here the evidence. There you see the springs of vaulting, but there's no evidence the vault was ever built. It was just, we'll prepare to have a vault in here, but they never quite got the money. Because of course stone vaults are expensive. That's a base of a sundial. Yep, it's a sundial. But someone has pinched the actual sundial, which is villainous of them. See there, you've got the stair turret that goes up into the upper room known as the parvis. They were used quite often for schoolrooms. In some cases they were used as vestry stroke chapel, and sometimes they were actually used, you keep the priest in there, because of course medieval priests don't need a huge amount of living space. And you can just see there where the original high-pitched roof, the high-pitched gable, has been cut down when they've replaced the roof in the 15th century with the present lower pitch. And then round on the north side, the north churchyard, which has been left wild in accordance with PCC policy to be more wildlife friendly, and also to save on mowing. Nothing wrong with saving on mowing. I don't say that as a criticism, I just say this as a fact. So there is the nave. You'll see with its clerestory, and then that tower, and then you've got the North Chapel. So you've got two chapels, which is further indication, if we needed any, which we don't, that this is a very high status building. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of money around here. There's a pinnacle. It's fallen off and been put down here. Because the chapels, I mean obviously the Gatakers are a big important family, but the other chapel would also have probably been a chantry, or might be in Guild Chapel. Guild Chapel was, local people would band together and they would pay a priest who would say masses for the members of the guild. And of course medieval belief is that the mass is a sacrifice, and therefore by having masses said for your soul, your time in purgatory is lessened. And of course all that ends with the Reformation, where people go, where's purgatory in the Bible? And it's not, so that's that. You see this black and white building here, this timber frame, that's the old vicarage. So the vicar lived right next door, and that's a very old building. I mean, 17th century at the earliest, I would say. So that, just see if we can get down the one, because they're sorting out things to do with where the sun is. Because it is not the world's most expensive camera, and therefore it doesn't like being exposed to direct sunlight. It just flares like that. And you, the viewers, do not want to be exposed to direct sunlight either. You can see here, that's the village street on a hill here, as many old villages in Shropshire are. And there we are looking up, and there's the tower, and there's the Gataker Chapel by the east end. So that is All Saints Claverley and England's Bayeux Tapestry as it is now. And it's a very important thing when it comes to these country churches is all of them are special. They all have their own unique features, and here it's those wall paintings in particular. So that is Claverley All Saints. So there we go. Because of the site, it's rather difficult to get a video with me and the whole church in it, just because of where the light is and where bits of the building are. So I'm speaking beside the priest's door for this close out. But thank you for watching. It's a magnificent building and there's so much to see. I've just skimmed the surface. So thank you for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.